Ciao ragazzi, today we're going to talk about nouns in Italian. So I'd like you to make sure that you've got your book so you can take some notes. But most importantly, have a read and have a listen, and when you have any questions, jot them down so you can bring them to class. So first up, you'll notice the title here says masculine nouns in the blue, and then you've got a pink title saying feminine nouns. So for a start, in Italian, we categorise our nouns into two different groups, the masculine group and the feminine group. Most masculine nouns end in an O in the singular in Italian. So you've got libro, which means book, banco, table, figlio, son, studio, the study. So these are all names of places or things, and they're in the singular. In other words, there's only one. Feminine nouns in Italian, on the other hand, mostly end in an A for the singular. Ragazza, girl, sedia, chair, amica, friend, rana, frog. So do pay close attention to the last letter of the noun in Italian. For masculine nouns, it will mostly be an O that it ends in, and for feminine nouns, it will mostly be an A that the noun ends in. So let me just reinforce that again. Nouns are the names for people, places, and things. This is true in both English and Italian. Nouns can either be singular, in other words, meaning that there's only one, or plural, meaning that there's more than one. So in English, you might have the word cat. That's a singular noun. To change it to the plural, we'll have cats. Let's go to the next slide and see what happens. Okay, so singular to plural, one to more than one. In English, we've got the word son, changes to sons for the plural. Book changes to books for the plural. Girl changes to girls, and friend changes to friends. So singular to plural, one to more than one. So from the previous slide, it seems like making words from singular, changing them from singular to plural is easy in English. We just need to add an S. But really think about it. What happens to these words? Fish, mouse, roof, family, octopus, and dice. Well, actually, plurals in English are really very, very hard and complicated. Now, although in Italian it might seem complicated, the rules for changing nouns from the singular to the plural in Italian are quite simple. In Italian, all masculine nouns that end in O change the O to an I. That's it. Libro becomes libri. Figlio becomes figli. Tavolo becomes tavoli. And studio becomes studi. You'll also notice that if there was already an I there, instead of adding an extra I, you just get rid of the O. All feminine nouns are easy as well. All feminine nouns change the A ending to an E, and that's it. Ragazza becomes ragazze. Figlia, figlie. Rana, rane. Amica, amiche. You will notice that the word amiche has added an H, and the reason for that is just to keep the k sound, otherwise it would become amiche, but we'll talk about that another time. Most importantly, the A has changed to an E. There is one final group of nouns in Italian that don't always end in an O or an A in the singular, and they have their own separate rule, but it's the same, it follows the rule. So some nouns in Italian that end in an E for the singular, for both masculine and feminine words, will change the E to an I in the plural for both the masculine and feminine words. So, televisione becomes televisioni, cane becomes cani, tigre becomes tigri, and elefante becomes elefanti. So in effect, there's 3 different types of groups. Masculine words, O goes to I, feminine words, A goes to E, and any words that happen to end in E for the singular go to I for the plural. So here you go, that's basically it. O in the singular changes to I in the plural. A in the singular changes to E in the plural. And any E words in the singular change to I in the plural.